Trust. It's the glue that holds our relationships together, whether in love, friendship, or at work. It's what allows us to open up, share our deepest emotions, and rely on others for support. Without it, communication falters, connections weaken, and respect becomes a fleeting concept. But here's the truth. Not everyone in your life deserves your trust. Some people uplift us, while others drag us down into negativity and doubt. In today's fast-paced world, where a smile can mask countless ulterior motives or a handshake can carry unspoken agendas, figuring out who's trustworthy can feel like walking a tightrope. Enter Stoicism, a timeless philosophy that serves as a guiding compass in navigating tricky relationships while preserving your inner peace. In this video, we'll uncover 9 types of people you should never trust. Together, we'll learn how to recognize them and handle these personalities in ways that protect your mental well-being. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Your support keeps us inspired to create more life-enhancing content. Ready to spot the untrustworthy and safeguard your peace? Let's get started. The first type of person you should not trust: people who spread secrets. Imagine sitting at a cafe, chatting with a colleague. Everything seems normal until they start sharing sensitive stories about others, pointing out weaknesses and mistakes of your co-workers without hesitation. They speak as though you're someone special, someone they trust. But pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this really someone you should trust? People who spread secrets and rumors are inherently dangerous. They don't just gossip. They often exaggerate or fabricate details to make their stories more compelling. It doesn't take much for them to start talking behind someone's back. A minor disagreement or a brief argument is enough to turn a former best friend into their latest target. And if they can do this to others, how can you be sure they won't do the same to you? Stoic philosophy teaches us that trust is a precious gift, not something to hand out carelessly. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone speaks ill of others to you, don't think they won't do the same about you." People who disregard others' privacy and dignity cannot be trusted. They won't hesitate to use the secrets you've shared against you when the situation no longer benefits them. Trust must be built on honesty and loyalty. If you notice someone frequently fabricating stories or spreading rumors, take it as a major red flag. Ask yourself, am I willing to risk my peace of mind and dignity for this person? Remember, no one is worth risking your trust if they can't respect others' privacy. Instead of investing your time in them, focus on nurturing relationships with those who know how to keep secrets and respect your values. These are the people who truly deserve to be the foundation of your peace and success. The second type of person you should not trust: the constant critic. Imagine pouring your heart into an important project, late nights, early mornings, and meticulous attention to detail. Finally, the day comes to share your work, and instead of receiving constructive feedback or recognition, you're met with relentless criticism. This isn't right. Why didn't you think bigger? Suddenly, it feels like all your efforts have been dismissed with a wave of negativity. These critiques don't build you up. They tear you down, leaving your self-esteem in shambles. Constant critics often hide behind the guise of honesty or helpfulness, but they foster toxic environments. They don't encourage growth. They instill fear, fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, and fear of taking risks. In such an environment, creativity dies, replaced by defensiveness and self-doubt. Every action feels like stepping on eggshells, always anticipating the next round of disapproval. According to Stoic philosophy, criticism only holds as much power as you allow it. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. This doesn't mean ignoring all criticism, but rather analyzing it critically. Is this feedback meant to help you grow, or is it a reflection of someone else's negativity? If there's value, use it to improve. If not, let it pass like a fleeting wind. Picture this. You're part of a recreational soccer team. Each time your pass misses its mark, a teammate mocks you instead of offering guidance. After a few weeks, you lose your enthusiasm for the game and begin to dread every touch of the ball. This is the destructive impact of non-constructive criticism, but you can shift the narrative. Focus on what you can control, your skills, your learning process. Ignore the negativity and prioritize personal growth. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in our response. Don't let constant critics bring you down. Guard your self-esteem, extract value from meaningful feedback, and discard baseless negativity. When you refuse to let criticism dictate your thoughts, you'll find freedom, resilience, and the ability to keep growing despite the noise. The third type of person you should not trust: the superficial friend. There's a type of person who's at every party, always smiling and blending in seamlessly. But when life throws you real challenges, they vanish like a shadow in the fog. Superficial friends are the ones who show up when things are going well, when you're thriving, successful, or when no extraordinary effort is required from them. But when you truly need a shoulder to lean on, sound advice, or simply someone's honest presence, they're nowhere to be found. I remember a time in my life when I decided to chase a dream, opening a small cafe on a quaint street corner. At first, everything seemed smooth. I received congratulations, encouragement, especially from a close friend I thought I could trust. But when the project faced challenges, when financial pressures mounted and I needed genuine support, he stopped showing up. Our conversations became rare, and when they happened, they were filled with shallow pleasantries. Stoic philosophy teaches that true relationships are not measured by quantity, but by quality. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said that a few genuine friends are far more valuable than 100 superficial ones. A true friend isn't just present during moments of celebration, but stands by you in the shadows when you need help the most. Stoicism encourages us to seek relationships that reflect our values, friends who are reliable, steadfast, and supportive. Imagine going through a tough time. Perhaps you've lost your job or faced a major life setback. You call the friend who always laughed with you at parties, hoping for a few words of encouragement. Instead of finding a listening ear, you're met with prolonged silence or even avoidance. It's in these moments that you realize their presence wasn't meaningful. It only amplified your feelings of loneliness. Don't let yourself get caught in the trap of superficial relationships. Friends like these don't just waste your time and energy. They pull you away from meaningful connections. Protect your emotional well-being. Cherish those who genuinely stand by you in both the highs and the lows. True relationships won't just elevate the quality of your life. They'll provide the inner peace you deserve. The fourth type of person you should not trust: people who lack empathy. Imagine going through a tough day and deciding to confide in a friend. Instead of receiving comfort or empathy, you're met with a dismissive response like, "Oh, that's tough, but my day was even worse." Worse yet, they launch into a long monologue about their own challenges and successes, leaving no space for your feelings. This is a clear sign of someone who lacks empathy. Empathy isn't just the ability to understand another's emotions. It's the foundation for building genuine and meaningful relationships. When you encounter people who lack empathy, you'll notice their inability to put themselves in your shoes. They disregard your emotions, dominate conversations with their own narratives, and sometimes even exploit your vulnerabilities to serve their own agendas. Interacting with them feels draining, leaving you feeling overlooked and undervalued. Stoic philosophy offers a refreshing perspective on dealing with such individuals. Epictetus emphasized that kindness and understanding should be shown even when the other party doesn't reciprocate. Stoicism encourages us not to meet indifference with anger, but to use these moments as opportunities to practice patience and cultivate virtue. However, this doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior. The Stoics remind us of the importance of setting boundaries to safeguard our mental and emotional well-being. Picture this. You have a co-worker who frequently asks for your help, but consistently avoids lending a hand when you need it. Instead of supporting you, they make excuses or outright ignore your requests. Such interactions highlight their lack of empathy as they prioritize their own needs over yours without regard for your struggles or emotions. In these situations, Stoic philosophy teaches us to protect our inner peace. Rather than allowing their actions to dishearten you, see it as a reminder to be selective with your trust and relationships. Setting boundaries isn't a lack of compassion. It's a way to shield yourself from unnecessary emotional harm. When faced with people who lack empathy, carefully consider how much you invest in those relationships. Enjoy their company superficially if needed, but save your emotional energy for relationships that are meaningful and genuine. Ultimately, only those who truly value you are worthy of your trust. If you are watching the video up to this point, please leave your opinion, then we move on to the fifth type of person you should never trust, the provocator. Have you ever met someone who seems to live just to rattle you, to disrupt your peace? That's the provocator in our lives. They're not here to engage in sincere conversations or build connections. They exist to sow discomfort. A sarcastic comment at the exact moment you think things are calm, a piercing glance that chips away at your confidence. They always know how to push you to the edge of your patience. Imagine attending a yoga class meant for relaxation and mindfulness. But every time you try to focus on your breath, there's someone in the corner making unnecessary remarks about your posture or letting out a mocking chuckle that throws you off. At first, you brush it off, but eventually you realize each session has become a battle between holding on to your inner calm and resisting their provocations. Stoic philosophy teaches us an invaluable lesson when dealing with such people. True power lies in our ability to control our minds, not in attempting to change the actions of others. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Rather than reacting to provocation, Stoicism encourages you to focus on your perception. Ask yourself, why does this person's behavior affect me? What inside me allows their actions to control my emotions? Once you shift your perspective from feeling threatened to recognizing their provocations as mere tests, you reclaim your power. In a tense workplace meeting, when a colleague constantly interrupts you, consider reframing the situation. Instead of feeling sidelined, see it as an opportunity to practice patience and composure. By not reacting in the way they expect, you not only maintain your peace, but also strip away their influence over you. Learning to deal with the provocator isn't just about managing your emotions, it's about growth and self-mastery. Remember, when you master your mind, no one else can control you. That's the ultimate gift of Stoic philosophy, true freedom from within. The sixth type of person you should never trust, the complainer. In life, you've likely encountered someone who always seems trapped in an endless loop of problems and pain. They constantly talk about their struggles and sorrows, often exaggerating them to draw attention. The unfortunate truth is that no matter how much you try to help or empathize, they're not genuinely seeking solutions. Instead, they crave someone to listen and console them, but they never actually change. Imagine you have a friend who constantly shares their failures at work. The first time, you listen attentively and offer sincere advice. The second time, you become concerned and invest your time in providing additional support. But by the 10th time, it dawns on you. They're not looking for answers. They're looking for attention. You find yourself caught in a spiral of sad stories, yet all your efforts feel like drops in a desert, futile and draining. According to Stoic philosophy, Epictetus once taught, "Do not worry about things outside your control." This doesn't mean you ignore your friend, but it does mean recognizing your limits. Empathy is essential, but you can't let your emotions and mental health be overwhelmed by issues you cannot resolve. Instead of feeling responsible for fixing their life, support them with clarity. Listen empathetically, but don't let their problems become your burden. If you notice these conversations depleting your energy, it might be time to establish boundaries. This not only helps protect your peace, but also teaches them that real change must come from within. Remember, helping others doesn't mean sacrificing your mental well-being. By practicing empathy without letting it turn into dependency, you can maintain balance in your life. Most importantly, you'll learn how to preserve your inner peace, even when faced with those who dwell in negativity. The next type of person you should not trust: the two-faced person. One of the most frustrating types of people to encounter in life is the two-faced individual. They may smile and engage in friendly conversations with you, creating an illusion of trust and camaraderie. Yet, as soon as your back is turned, they are ready to speak ill of you, betraying the very trust you thought you shared. Imagine this familiar scenario. There's someone in your social circle who always seems cheerful, approachable, and supportive. You consider them a reliable ally, but then you discover they've been spreading false rumors about you, tarnishing your reputation at a gathering or during an important event. The feeling of betrayal and disappointment is hard to shake. How could someone be so duplicitous? Stoic philosophy teaches us that people like this are not worth your time or energy. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, advised, "It is better to be alone than to be in bad company." Relationships with two-faced individuals create conflict, distrust, and insecurity, exactly the opposite of what we strive for in seeking inner peace. The key is to recognize the true nature of such people as early as possible. Do not let their deceitful actions shake your dignity or integrity. When confronted with betrayal from a two-faced person, remain composed. Remember, reacting with anger or strong emotions only plays into their manipulative hands. Instead, sever ties with these insincere connections. Focus your energy and trust on those who are genuine and respectful. Building relationships based on honesty and mutual support not only preserves your inner peace, but also enhances the quality and stability of your social interactions. Keep in mind that while their actions may hurt you, you hold the power over how you respond. By upholding your values and ethical standards, you protect your self-respect and maintain dignity in the eyes of those who truly matter. Ultimately, life will reward you with relationships that are far more authentic and deserving. Type 8. People who can't take no for an answer. Have you ever met someone who simply cannot accept the word no? These are the kinds of people who, when their requests are denied, resort to all sorts of tactics to pressure you into compliance. At first, they may appear friendly and approachable, but don't be fooled. The moment you decline, their attitude can change in an instant, turning cold, accusatory, or worse, making you feel as though you're the selfish one. Imagine having a friend who frequently asks for your help. One day, you say no because you're overwhelmed with work and family commitments. Instead of understanding, they act as if you've committed some grave injustice. Statements like, "I didn't think you were that kind of person," or "I would never do that to you," might slip out, not to empathize, but to guilt-trip you. You're left feeling both pressured and doubting your own worth. People who can't take no often view relationships as one-way streets. They care about you only as long as you're useful to them. However, Stoic philosophy teaches us that no one has the right to infringe upon your freedom or values. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that you are responsible for your own emotions and decisions, not those of others. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not pressure or manipulation. What's worse, this type of person may escalate their response. When denied, they may not just react with anger, but could weaponize your past vulnerabilities against you. For instance, if you once confided in them about a personal failure, they might now bring it up to make you feel weak, all because you didn't give them what they wanted. In situations like this, it's essential to stand firm and establish boundaries. Don't let them invade your autonomy or make you feel responsible for their disappointment. Seneca wisely advised that it's better to distance yourself from disrespectful people than to maintain toxic relationships. This doesn't mean you don't care about others. It means you prioritize your self-respect and emotional well-being. Remember, you have the right to say no without explanation or guilt. Each time you decline an unreasonable request, you not only protect yourself, but also foster an environment where relationships are grounded in mutual respect, rather than coercion. The last type of person we will look at in this video is the psychological manipulator. This is the kind of person you might not recognize immediately because they excel at creating a perfect image of care and understanding. They listen to you, agree with you, and make you feel like you're confiding in a true kindred spirit. But behind the smiles and comforting words lies a plan to exploit your emotions, your information, and your trust for their own benefit. Imagine you have a new neighbor who always shows up at the right moment when you're in trouble. One day, you cut your hand while cooking, and they suddenly appear with a first aid kit and reassuring advice. You think, "What a great person." But after a few similar incidents, you notice that every time they help, they ask things like, "Have you ever considered selling your house?" Or, "Would you mind if I hosted a party in your yard?" Gradually, you realize their kindness always comes with strings attached. Psychological manipulators are subtle and strategic. They don't just learn about you, they use what you share to gain an advantage. They might use your secrets to win an argument or make you feel obligated to help them. Their relationships aren't built on genuine connection, but on control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Observe their actions, not just their words." This is a crucial principle when dealing with someone who seems less than sincere. Pay attention to how they act in their relationships with others. Do they respect boundaries? Are they consistent in how they treat you and others? Stoic philosophy teaches us to set clear boundaries to protect ourselves from such people. If you recognize someone using your emotions or information to manipulate you, pause and reassess the relationship. Don't let them control you. Protect your emotional well-being and reserve your trust for those who have proven they deserve it. Finally, remember that not everyone deserves your trust. Manipulators can create waves in your life, but you have the power to maintain your inner peace by keeping your distance. Investing in authentic relationships, will bring you the harmony and mutual respect you truly deserve. And there you have it, folks. We've just explored 9 types of people you should be cautious about or completely steer clear of. Perhaps you recognized a few familiar faces in this list. Don't worry, we've all misplaced our trust at some point. What truly matters is learning from those experiences and growing stronger. Remember, life isn't about the quantity of relationships you have, but the quality of the people you choose to keep in your circle. As Seneca wisely said, better to be alone than in bad company. So choose wisely and protect your inner peace. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, share it, and leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Have you ever encountered someone like this? How did you handle it? Share your story and help the community learn from your experience. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. There's so much more insightful content coming your way. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay calm, respect your values, and keep striving for a better you. See you in the next video. If you are new here, please like the video and subscribe. Statistics show that only 15% of my audience is subscribed to the channel, so if this content has helped you in any way, I ask you to subscribe and hit the notification bell.